Hello everybody, mega goal number 5, third secondary, unit 5, do you really need it? 5, listening, page number 73. So before we start with the lesson, let's take a look at the objectives. Number 1, listen to answer the given questions. Number 2, practice pronouncing different sounds of the word to correctly. And number 3, read and give the meaning of the new words. راح نسمع عشان نجاوب على الأسئلة بطريقة صحيحة. برضو راح نتدرب على طريقة نطق كلمة to بطرق مختلفة صحيحة. برضو راح نقرأ ونعطي المعنى الصحيح للكلمات. So unit number 5 is called Do You Really Need It? Please move on to page number 73. So in this lesson we will be covering the listening part as well as the pronunciation and of course the vocabulary building. So right now I'd like you to move to page number 73 and let's start with the listening part. Right now you will be listening to the lecture about advertising technique and you are asked to identify the kind of techniques each product uses. طبعا راح نسمع إلى محاضرة عن التقنيات المختلفة المستخدمة في الإعلانات. عندنا 5 منتجات، مطلوب أنكم تحددون كل product أو كل منتج إيش التقنية المستخدمة في الإعلان عنه. Now let's take a look at these products before we start listening to the lecture. So the first product المنتج الأول is a toothpaste اللي هو معجون أسنان. The second product is a cola product. The third one is jeans. The fourth one is card اللي هو بطاقات. And the fifth one is alarm system اللي هو مثل اللي هو جرس الإنذار أو جرس التنبيه. Now get ready to listen to the lecture and then don't forget that afterwards you are asked to identify the kind of technique each product uses. So get ready to listen.
Page 73. 5. Listening. Listen to the lecture about advertising techniques. Then identify the kind of technique each product uses.
Good morning, and welcome to the class Advertising 101. You are here today because you want to learn the secrets behind how advertisers sell to consumers. As you become more familiar with the techniques advertisers use to sell their products, you will notice that these same approaches pop up again and again, selling everything from toothpaste to tires and life insurance to laundry detergent. Let's take a look at some of these techniques. Endorsements are one of the most popular types of advertising techniques. This technique shows a famous person promoting the product. Because viewers admire and want to be like the person, they may want to use the product. Here is an example.
I'm famous for my smile, but I owe that smile to Sparkle Bright toothpaste.
Another popular advertising technique is called the bandwagon technique. To jump on the bandwagon is an idiom that means to join something simply because it is fashionable. So when advertisements use this technique, they try to make viewers believe that they will be part of the popular crowd if they use the product. Listen to an example.
More and more people are switching to the refreshment of Dew Top Cola. Don't you want to be one of them?
The anti-bandwagon technique takes the opposite approach. It encourages consumers to feel that if they buy a certain product, they will show their individuality and be recognized as someone special.
When you're ready to break away from the pack, there's Indigo Jeans. Think for yourself. Indigo Jeans.
Emotional appeal is a technique in which the advertiser tries to get the viewer to respond to the commercial with some kind of strong emotion. The advertiser wants the consumer to associate the product with the emotion. Listen to 2 examples of emotional appeal.
Even though my mama and I live miles apart, she is always in my heart. That's why I'm sending her a Caremark card, because when you send Caremark, you say, I care.
Imagine if your home was burglarized in the middle of the night. What would you do? How would you keep your family safe? Luckily, with safe home alarm systems, You never have to worry about the safety of your family and your home.
Okay, so right now, as you could tell, we have listened to the lecture about advertising techniques, and they have mentioned 4 techniques which advertisers use to promote for their products. 4 تقنيات يستخدمونها المعلنين عشان يسوقون لمنتجهم. So let's take a look and let's discuss what each product is using, and I'm gonna explain to you in brief what each technique means. Okay, so أول حاجة toothpaste is using an advertising technique called endorsement technique. الانdorsement تعتمد انهم يجيبون شخص مشهور, a celebrity or a famous person, to promote for this product, انه يسوق لهذا المنتج, مثل اللي استخدموها في تسويق للtoothpaste. As for the cola, they have used a technique called the bandwagon technique. الباندواجن معناها انك يعني تلتحق بالركب, to join the crowd and to be as fashionable and as trendy as everybody else, انك تصبح مثل الآخرين. As for the third product, which is indigo jeans, they have used the anti-bandwagon technique, اللي هي عكس الباندواجن technique, اللي هي يستخدمون انه يعني انه يرسخون في ذهن المستهلك انه to be different from the other, انه يكون مختلف عن الآخرين. As for the fourth and the fifth products, they are using what is called the emotional appeal, اللي هو النداء العاطفي, واللي هم they address أو يخاطبون emotion of the consumer, اللي هو المستهلك. Okay, now let's move on to the next part, which is the pronunciation part. As I said previously, right now you will practice pronouncing different sounds of the word to, and right now get ready to listen how this word is pronounced in each sentence, and of course afterwards you're supposed to practice pronouncing or saying these sentences aloud. طبعا باختصار انا قلت لكم انه الهدف من pronunciation ان احنا نتعلم كيف ننطق كلمة to بطرق مختلفة, وبعدها مفروض انكم تحاولون تتدربون على نطق هذه الجمل بطريقة صحيحة. So right now get ready to listen, and then you are free to pause the video afterwards and practice pronouncing or saying these sentences aloud.
Page 73. 6. Pronunciation. The word to has different pronunciations. Before consonants, to is generally pronounced t, like the first sound in the word tug. Before vowels, to is generally pronounced to, like the word to. Listen and practice.
1. Good morning, and welcome to Advertising 101. 2. You are here today because you want to learn the secrets behind how advertisers sell to consumers. 3. Because viewers admire and want to be like the person, they may want to use the product. 4. The advertiser tries to get the viewer to respond to the commercial with some kind of strong emotion. 5. The advertiser wants the consumer to associate the product with the emotion.
Okay, so right now, as I said previously, I'd recommend you pause the video and you practice saying these sentences aloud. Now let's move on to the next part, which is the vocabulary building. Right now we have a list of words that you will be seeing in the reading passage on pages 74 and 75, and you are asked to match these words with their correct meaning. Okay, but before we start doing this, I'd like to explain each one of these words separately. So the first one is consumer, which means a person who buys things or services. Consumer. Expose, when you are exposed to something, it means that you are left unprotected. Logo, which is a design symbol of a business or product. Outlandish, which means shockingly strange or unexpected. Spontaneously, which means without planning. Unconventional, which means different from what is typically expected. Now, let's match each word with their accurate or correct definition. Now, the first one, consumer, which means a person who buys things or services. Expose, which means left unprotected. Logo, which is a design symbol of a business or product. Outlandish, which means shockingly strange or unexpected. Spontaneously, which means without planning, and unconventional means different from what is typically expected. So I'd recommend that you start practicing pronouncing these sentences accurately, and of course memorize what each one of them mean in Arabic and of course in English. طبعا تحاولوا تتدربون على نطق هذه الكلمات وتعرفون كيف ننطق هذه الكلمات بالعربي، نعرف معناهم بالعربي وبالإنجليزي. Now we have reached the end of the lesson. I hope that you have enjoyed our lesson. Don't forget to subscribe, share this video with your friends, and hit the like button. Until next time, have a good one.